In this module, we describe a few key products in the 4 subseries within the H8S series, showing the performance they deliver and the functions they offer. Subsequently, we will discuss typical embedded system applications for these high-performance, low-power 16-bit microcontrol units. Before discussing the individual devices, let us briefly review the characteristics of the 4 H8S Sub-Series. First, H8S 2100 series devices have clock speeds up to 20 MHz and have peripherals for PC applications, a low pin count LPC or ISA interface, PS2, I2C, IRDA, etc. Second, H8S 2200 series MCUs, which also operate at up to 20 MHz, offer low voltage operation, low power consumption, and a 32 kHz subclock oscillator. Many of them have a USB interface, and some provide an on-chip LCD controller. Third, H8S 2300 series devices operate at up to 33 MHz and provide larger on-chip flash memory, greater integration, and bigger packages with higher pin counts. Many incorporate an on-chip debugging function and a JTAG interface that enable debugging with the low-cost E10A emulator. Last, H8S 2600 series MCUs have an on-chip hardware multiply accumulator MAC and operate up to 33 MHz. They have sophisticated peripherals such as a controller area network CAN interface for automotive applications. Also, many of them provide a 6-phase PWM that is useful for motor controllers. Networking applications such as switching equipment and security systems require high-performance MCUs that have on-chip flash and multiple channels of serial ports. Many H8S 2600 devices excel in such applications. Instrumentation applications such as data recorders and medical monitors, as well as industrial equipment applications such as HVAC controllers and process control systems, need the performance and peripherals that the general-purpose MCUs in the H8S 2300 family provide. These MCUs support multiple serial ports, have multiple channels of 16-bit TPU, and offer various sizes of on-chip flash. Computing applications, such as transaction terminals and barcode scanners, require high-speed interfaces such as UARTs and USB functions and low power consumption. Many of the devices in the H8S 2200 family meet these requirements. The devices in H8S 2148 and H8S 2145B series have clock speeds up to 20 MHz and operate from 2.7 volts to 5.5 volts. You can choose devices with 256 kilobytes of flash and 8 kilobytes of RAM, or 128 kilobytes of flash and 4 kilobytes of RAM. These devices include 3 channels of serial interface with support for an IRDA interface for wireless connectivity. The MCUs provide helpful peripheral functions, including data converters and many types of timers. A key feature of the H8S 2145B is an LPC interface. The H8S 2148 and H8S 2145B series devices are available in 100-pin QFP and thin QFP packages. The H8S 2168 is a newly evolved device that uses state-of-the-art technology and is optimized for sophisticated next-generation baseboard management controller BMC applications. This MCU operates at up to 33 MHz at 3 volts. It has the large on-chip flash and SRAM that are essential for complex IPMI software routines. 3 channels of LPC interface provide a seamless connection to the server host using a PCI bus, while 6 channels of I2C interface enable easy connections to devices such as server chassis, a power supply, NIC cards, etc. An on-chip 14-bit PWM is useful for controlling fan speed. These and many other features make the H8S 2168 an excellent match for BMC implementations. Third-party vendors can provide the required IPMI firmware. The H8S 2215, a member of the H8S 2200 series, runs at clock speeds up to 16 MHz at 3 volts, and is available with on-chip flash or mask ROM. The key feature of this device is its USB interface, which can connect to a USB version 2.0 host, support up to 12 megabits per second data transmissions, and has the option of bus-powered or self-powered operation. All 4 USB modes are supported: interrupt, bulk, control, and isochronous. Like other H8S series devices, these MCUs have an external bus interface that can be used to connect to different kinds of memory chips, such as SRAM, flash, mask ROM, and DRAM. Some devices also offer interfaces to SDRAM. The H8S 2215 on-chip USB interface and large on-chip memory make it a good choice for PC peripherals and point-of-sale systems. Here you can see the list of features of the H8S 2268 series MCUs. The key feature, however, is an on-chip 44-segment LCD controller that simplifies systems that have a small LCD panel. The device's I2C interface enables easy connections to EEPROM and other peripherals, and the DTMF interface lets you connect the MCU to a wired phone directly. For example, if the H8S 2268 is used in a residential security system and someone intrudes into the property, sensors alert the MCU, which then connects to a remote central security station via the phone to report the intrusion. These MCUs operate from 2.7 to 5.5 volts and offer speeds up to 20 MHz. They best suit applications that require medium-size flash, medium performance, low power consumption, and LCD panel support. Here you can see a list of features for the H8S 2300 series. The MCUs in the H8S 2300 series serve general-purpose applications. Some operate at up to 25 MHz and offer on-chip flash sizes ranging from 128 kilobytes to 384 kilobytes. The H8S 2327BL MCU, shown here, is a member of the Renesas H8 Value series of high-performance 16-bit MCUs that have fixed, volume-independent, low prices. Some devices in this series have on-chip flash memory or mask ROM, while others are ROM-less. All are fully compatible with standard H8 MCUs. For example, if you choose an H8S 2327BL for your design, you can easily migrate the system later to an H8 II 2328 or H8S 2329. The DMA controller that H8S 2300 series MCUs provide is valuable for offloading the CPU in systems that require extensive data transfers between memory and I/O. The on-chip 16-bit programmable pulse generator PPG peripheral, which uses the 16-bit TPU as a base, is helpful for creating programmable output waveforms. The PPG generates arbitrary waveforms using a memory-resident, table-driven approach. You can dynamically change the output pulses using 4 channels of the 16-bit PPG. Each channel uses 4 bits. MCUs in the H8S 2600 series have one unique feature that distinguishes them from other H8S chips: an on-chip multiplier accumulator, or MAC. Hence, the devices have 4 additional instructions to make use of this 16x16 multiplier, and they deliver important speed advantages in computation-intensive applications. For example, H8S 2600 series MCUs execute a 16x16 multiplication in the on-chip hardware in 4 clock cycles. By contrast, H8S 2100, H8S 2200, and H8S 2300 series devices need approximately 12 cycles to perform this operation in software. The MAC instructions available in H8S 2600 devices also have a unique speed-enhancing feature: automatic address incrementing. While doing a multiply-accumulate computation, you can post-increment the operand by fixed number, for example, by 2 at the same time. The H8S 2600 MCUs have a maximum clock speed of 20 MHz when operating at 5 volts. They offer 1 channel of CAN, Controller Area Network, and have an 80-pin package, so that they are a great choice for cost-sensitive automotive applications. The devices also provide a powerful set of on-chip timers. They have a versatile 6-channel 16-bit timer pulse unit TPU, an 8-bit programmable pulse generator, PPG, and a motor management timer, MMT, that can output 6-phase pulse width modulation, PWM waveforms with non-overlap times. These timers facilitate the design of H8S 2600-based embedded systems for motor control applications. The devices in the H8S 2678R series are unique within the H8S 2600 family. These MCUs include a DMA controller and an enhanced EXDMA controller to reduce CPU overhead. The EXDMA-C allows the CPU to access on-chip locations, while EXDMA-C moves the data to off-chip locations. These devices also have 6 channels of DA conversion. The H8S 2676 MCU is offered in versions with on-chip flash or mask ROM. One MCU in this series, though, is ROM-less, the H8S 2674R, which supports an SD-RAM interface. The H8S 2674R ideally suits cost-sensitive applications that require considerable external SD-RAM, products such as printers, scanners, and high-speed buffers for Internet downloads.